Yo guys, what is good? We're back with another video, and today I want to talk about something that's personal to me, which is why I used to smoke weed. And like, it's crazy that the topic of weed has like become such a high interest these days. But I know like for some people, and still at sometimes, like weed is something that was looked down at and like why people use it. But I actually want to just talk about the reasons why like people use it maybe, and like why I used it, and why like I found some sort of like not long lasting peace in it. But so when I was 17 years old is when like I felt like I was going through a really dark time in my life. Like I was just getting out of a bad breakup with a girl, you know, like high school stuff, and I was just trying to figure out who I was. Like I just felt so lost at that moment. Like I remember I just got into like more smoking weed and adventuring with like psychedelic drugs, like shrooms and different things like that, and just like trying to figure out like who am I, like teen angst, to just who the heck am I, like why am I put on this earth, like what is the purpose for all this, if it's just gonna be like if I'm just gonna die one day, like what is the purpose of life? And like weed kind of for me like suppressed those questions, at least for a little bit, and helped me find like peace, like helped me find like almost like an illusion of peace, because of course everything comes back once you're done with the weed. But it just took me out. And one of the things I like doing is just escaping from this world. And like that's one of the reasons why I love worship so much, and why I love to worship God, is because I feel like I'm escaping from like this world and escaping from the pressures of it. And weed just helped me like break away. Like yeah, I might have problems right now, but like I'm high, so I don't care. And that's the same thing. It's like when I worship Jesus, I know that I have problems, but like I don't have to worry about them right now, because I'm in God's presence. And I guess for me it was always just that thing of like trying to find some type of escape from this world. And 17 years old, finding out about like Trayvon Martin and just black people being murdered and all these things was just a lot for a 17-year-old. And that's why I was getting into that stuff. And when I came, you know, like when I came to be a Christian, when I came to like want to not smoke weed, I was wondering where could I find that same freedom or something better. And I found that like in the Lord. I never knew what it was like to have a relationship with God. Like I knew that God existed somewhere out there, but I didn't know everything that entailed in having a relationship with God. And I just remember finding a scripture like fullness of joy. There's fullness of joy in your right hand, there are pleasures forevermore. And like that verse specifically like just took me out of like even really wanting to go back to weed, because if I knew like if there's actually in his presence there's fullness of joy, which is the full verses, in his presence there's fullness of joy, at his right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Like when I used to do those things, I was looking for joy, I was looking for like some kind of pleasure, but actually like learning the truth that like I'm a human and I wasn't created to try to be satisfied by things on this earth, but actually I was created to be satisfied by the creator of the earth. And like he actually does want to satisfy me, he does want to supply me with joy and peace. And like if I come to him, if I get in his presence and I learn a relationship with him, like it'll take me out of that place. So I kind of want to talk about this stuff and make videos like this for people that actually struggle with weed and struggle with these things. It's like when we try to satisfy ourselves with things on this earth, we'll always end up back to square one, back sad again, back to depressed again. And when we come to God and actually seek him for those things, he's so willing to like supply, because he knows that that's why he created us, to be supplied by him. And that's a beautiful thing to me. Super. Journal entry, July 9th, 2019. I'm learning to live in transparency, just because I believe that's like something that God is. He's real, and he's like, you can see him, and that's just something that he desires. I learned a lot at Bible study today, which was really good, because when I was in California, I just feel like that was one area that was lacking, was just like having a solid Bible study, or just like something that I could go to and hear about God and learn about the Lord and everything. I'm learning that it's also all right to take things slow, to not rush into things and hastily go into things, because I think that's where the devil gets us, when we move so fast and make these hasty decisions. But it's actually good to take a step back and just say, God, what are you doing? And that was my journal.